Well, hello everyone. As I was finishing up a workout, and I'm not the type that normally likes to show off in a tank top. I'm not physically that good that I feel that comfortable in tank tops. So just your male egos type stuff. But anyways, it made me do think out though, as the new year approaches about, all those people who put out those silly over expectation and or goals that are not obtainable. And I've talked about before setting yourself goals, but making sure they're obtainable goals. And I highly recommend doing it in smaller increments. So let's say your goal is to lose, let's say, 40 pounds or something. So your first goal then should be by like March 1st, you want to lose 15 pounds. And then if you reach that goal, and then you say, okay, now I want to lose another 10 pounds. And then you set that for July 1st or something. So those are obtainable goals that you can actually do and then feel good about yourself as you reach each goal, compared to having like a 40 or 50 pound goal, let's say, and you say by the end of next year I'm going to lose all this weight, and then of course by October, November you haven't reached it and you get all depressed. You didn't stick to your guns. That's why in anything you do with goals, it's just like from all my sales teachings over the years and stuff, you set a goal for what you want to accomplish, but you do it in increments first to build up to get to that point. So it's very important for yourself mentally. It's rewarding, and make sure you reward yourself if you reach a goal. So figure out how you want to reward yourself. It obviously doesn't jeopardize your future goals. Bettering yourself is critical, obviously, always, especially as a single guy, well, no matter what age you are, but obviously it's even more important as we get older. And it's harder for us to stay in shape or feel energy. I've always been known as someone who's extremely energized and has energy, especially when I'm at work. I'm having a little more of a mojo issue ever since I was separated over a year ago now, kind of getting that mojo back. And it's slowly coming back. Obviously meeting the right people, doing the right things, accomplishing goals, setting these things to look forward to that I've talked about in several of my videos in the past. Those are all very important. So think about that kind of stuff. It makes you a better person. And if you can focus on yourself and make yourself feel better, then it'll be a lot easier to mingle with other people and maybe meet somebody else if that's what you want. I did decide. I originally had another trip planned, like I try to do like every 3 to 4 months, a big trip to have something to look forward to. But as I may have mentioned in a previous video, I lost my job back in mid-October, and my industry is a very niche industry, so it's not easy to get a position again, and it's unlikely that I will find something locally again, because there just isn't that many quality prime places for my level of management skills to slide into, because it all comes down to timing. So, you got somebody is not going to put a new GM in some place unless they just lost a GM or they want to replace a GM or whatever. So I'm actually looking at some OEM stuff, which means manufacturer rep type stuff, as well as dealer stuff. And I still do some consulting on the side and freelance writing, all things to keep my mind going and keeping it busy. But this time of year with the holidays, it's very easy to get depressed. I had a relationship that was built. Very good friend that was maybe a little more than friends, which was unusual. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say unusual, but something I wasn't experienced with. So I had to adjust to it. And the great thing about that particular relationship was we were very, very direct and honest as we came into the relationship, because I know I'm not really ready for a solid, big relationship yet. And she was actually on the hunt for that next big relationship, because she's been separated for much longer than I have. So, but we had a good dynamic. We still are friends. So that was kind of nice, but it was still kind of strange. But, it's all things we got to adapt to and get to. But it actually helped, because it was nice to have somebody, basically praise you and appreciate you again, which is nice always. But yeah, I need to get out of my shell more. So that's part of my, I'm going to conquer into the next year. It's like when I had salsa, sometimes I can be kind of moody and just basically be I just not feel it, basically, and then I basically just leave early when I'm like that. So I don't want to bring anybody else down if I'm being kind of moody. And other times, though, I'm having a great time and I want to be there as long as I can be there and having it good. So just call me the moody guy, where it didn't used to be the case. I used to be called Smiley for years by many people because it was hard to keep me from smiling and being energetic. But anyways, not about me. I did plan another trip. Originally, when I lost a job, I already had it booked. So, thinking financially being smart with no income coming in, I should kill it. So I did, which cost me a few $100 in cancellation charges. But then I was thinking over the last couple months, it's like, well, there's a very good chance, hopefully, that I will be working again by spring of 2026. So in the meantime, what am I doing? So if I go to work again, being new, no matter where I'm going, it's unlikely I will be able to take some time off for a little while at least. So I should do it now while I can. And it is spending money I'm not bringing in, but as I've mentioned before, luckily I had some good amount of money saved up, even though I am spending it faster than I should be spending it. But I do have some more money coming too from the house sale down the road in spring. So I was like, you know what? Hell with it. So I'm going to do it. So I rebooked it. So the good news, I was able to get the same package deal through a very good friend, travel agent expert that I have. If anybody knows, if anybody wants one, I can refer you to her. She's an American Express #1 travel agent in the US of A last year and a best-selling book too, so about traveling inexpensively. So she's a good source to have, and I've always told her, basically what I'm looking for, and she just lets me know if she gets any great packages and things like that could be advantageous to me. And this particular one is a cruise, which I didn't really want to do a full-on cruise again, but it was an incredible deal over in the Middle East, basically from like Bahrain to Abu Dhabi to Doha on a cruise going around the peninsula, stopping at their own private island, just like you do with cruise ships in the Caribbean, and including airfare, the whole shebang. And it was just an incredible deal. It was cheaper doing that than going to the Caribbean, which doesn't make any sense. But it turns out that those countries over there, they're super rich, are subsidizing airlines and travel agencies and cruise lines to get tourism there and build it up, because they obviously want that for the future. So good time to take advantage of it and go and be able to see those really cool futuristic cities, hoping to do like a camel excursion into the desert, some other cool stuff that they've got planned out for day excursions and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. So now I have something to look forward to again, and it's coming up fairly soon, about 5 weeks. So going to be happy about that. So again, it's like I've talked about before, having things to look forward to, making yourself better. If you have those things and you do meet another woman, the woman will appreciate that you already, you have plans, you're driven, you've got things you want to do. And that's the way, like me right now, I'm a little bit frustrated just because I'm not working. And obviously when you're not working, you can't focus on just work, and work allows me to focus and basically not think about my troubles sometimes, which is like what happened when I was in my marriage. Is whenever as it was going downhill, basically I would just work more, and of course that doesn't help, but at the same time it was a way for me not to feel that pain and that stress and all that kind of stuff, and I could focus and just be the best I could be outside of the marriage, if nothing else. So but I think women appreciate a guy who really thinks, and I got to get that phone call. Enjoy.